Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you all are doing well today. My name is Alexandra, and welcome to your Royal Daily News for Wednesday, May 28th, 2025. In today's episode, King Frederick X of Denmark presides over an award ceremony and gala dinner in Copenhagen. Emperor Naruhito of Japan meets with the President of Iceland. King Felipe VI and Queen Letizia of Spain visit the town of Guadalupe, while Queen Maxima of the Netherlands meets with the winners of the King Willem I Prize, and more royal news from around the world. But first, Her Majesty, Queen Mathilde of the Belgians, and Her Royal Highness, Princess Elisabeth of Belgium, Duchess of Brabant, attended the second day of the piano finals of the Queen Elizabeth competition at the Palais des Beaux-Arts. Princess Elisabeth, who is heir to the Belgian throne, recently completed her first year at Harvard University. The princess is enrolled in the 2-year Master of Public Policy program at Harvard Kennedy School at Harvard University. She began her studies in September 2024, following her graduation from Lincoln College at the University of Oxford in July 2024. However, it is uncertain if the princess or any international student will be able to return to Harvard for the 2025-2026 academic year. So, for those of you who may not know what is happening, last Thursday, the Secretary of the United States Department of Homeland Security, Kristi Noem, under the direct order of President Donald Trump, sent a letter to Harvard University, a private university, to let them know they had revoked Harvard's certification under the Student and Exchange Visitor Program, also known as SEVP, and stripped the university of its authority to sponsor F and J visas for international students and scholars for the 2025-2026 academic year. On Friday, Harvard University filed a complaint and a motion for a temporary restraining order, also known as a TRO, against the Trump administration, asking the court to block the Trump administration from revoking its ability to enroll international students. On late Friday afternoon, a federal judge for the United States District Court for the District of Massachusetts, Allison Burroughs, granted Harvard's request for a TRO. Prior to the judge's ruling, the Director of Communications for the Royal Court of Belgium, Mr. Xavier Bart, issued a statement regarding Princess Elizabeth's future at Harvard. Quote, "We must look at the situation calmly and wait. So many things can still happen." End quote. Ms. Laura Van Dorn, a spokesperson for the Royal Court, also added, quote, "The impact of the Trump administration's decision will only become clearer in the coming days and weeks. We are currently investigating the situation." End quote. In Den Haag, His Majesty, King Willem-Alexander of the Netherlands, received letters of credence from newly appointed ambassadors to the Kingdom of the Netherlands at Paleis Noordeinde. The newly appointed ambassadors are from the Republic of Korea and Ukraine. In Amsterdam, Her Majesty, Queen Maxima of the Netherlands, visited the company Fairphone. The company won the 2024 King Willem I Prize in the Sustainable Entrepreneurship category. According to RVD, the company is, quote, "committed to making high-quality, fair, sustainable, and modular products that are designed to last." Fairphone is constantly working to promote transparency, good working conditions, and sustainability. End quote. In the afternoon, Their Majesties, King Willem-Alexander and Queen Maxima of the Netherlands, hosted a luncheon at Paleis Noordeinde for individuals who distinguished themselves through a special achievement. On Tuesday, in Vaduz, His Serene Highness, Hereditary Prince Alois of Liechtenstein, held an audience with senior staff members of the United States Congress at Schloss Vaduz. According to a press release, the visit, quote, enabled the guests to gain an in-depth insight into Liechtenstein's political system and its business location, end quote. Meanwhile, His Royal Highness, Prince Felix of Luxembourg, attended Day 2 of the 20th edition of the Games of the Small States of Europe in the Principality of Andorra. Over 160 athletes will represent the Grand Duchy during the GSSE, which ends on May 31st. On Tuesday, His Imperial Majesty, Emperor Naruhito of Japan, held a meeting with the President of the Republic of Iceland, Halla Tomasdóttir, at the Imperial Palace. According to the Office of the President of Iceland, during the meeting, the discussions focused on the relations between Iceland and Japan, and, quote, actions on gender equality, and the country's use of renewable energy, end quote. As I mentioned, several months ago, His Serene Highness, Prince Albert II of Monaco, formally invited the President and the First Lady of the French Republic, Emmanuel and Brigitte Macron, for a 2-day state visit to the Principality of Monaco. Naturally, the President accepted. The last state visit from a President of the French Republic was the late François Mitterrand on January 19, 1984. This afternoon, the Palais Princier de Monaco released the details of the state visit, which will take place on Saturday, June 7th through Sunday, June 8th. On Saturday, there will be the traditional welcoming ceremony in the Cour d'Honneur and a glittering gala state banquet in the throne room at the Palais. On Sunday, the Sovereign Prince and the President will participate in the Blue Economy and Finance Forum, while Princess Charlene and the First Lady will attend a water safety event organized by the Princess Charlene of Monaco Foundation. This morning, Their Majesties, King Felipe VI and Queen Letizia of Spain, visited the town of Guadalupe in the province of Cáceres. The visit began with Their Majesties meeting with the Municipal Council at the Town Hall. This was followed by a visit to the Sebastian Garcia Daycare Center and residence. Thereafter, Their Majesties arrived at the Real Monasterio de Santa Maria de Guadalupe. In 1993, the historic Catholic monastery was declared a UNESCO World Heritage Site. According to the Royal Court of Spain, the monastery, quote, dating back to the 14th century, was founded by Alfonso XI and has witnessed milestones such as the audience of Catholic monarchs with Christopher Columbus before the discovery of America. Declared a national monument in 1879, the monastery houses the image of the Virgin of Guadalupe, patron saint of Extremadura and Reina de la Hispanidad, end quote. The day ended with Their Majesties meeting with the public in the city center of Guadalupe. This evening in Copenhagen, His Majesty, King Frederik X of Denmark, presided over the presentation of the 2025 Brain Prize and Gala Dinner at Villa Copenhagen. Established in 2011, the Brain Prize, awarded annually by the Lundbeck Foundation, is the largest brain research prize in Denmark. The prize, worth 10 million Danish krone, which is approximately 1.3 million euros, is presented to one or more brain researchers who have had a groundbreaking impact in any area of brain research, from basic neuroscience to applied clinical research. The winners of the 2025 Brain Prize went to Professor Michel Monhet of Stanford University and Professor Frank Winkler of Heidelberg University. Congratulations. Meanwhile, His Royal Highness, Crown Prince Christian of Denmark, along with his fellow conscripts, completed their basic military training with the Guard Hussar Regiment in Silesia. On the occasion of this major turning point for the Crown Prince and the conscripts, Their Majesties, King Frederick X and Queen Mary of Denmark, issued a statement. Quote, "Today, the Crown Prince and his co-servicemen finished their guard duty. Everyone should be rightly proud of their completed military duty. It creates respect. On the family day in March at the Antvorskov Barracks, we had the pleasure of meeting several of the armed forces and their families. We all wish a big congratulations on the deserved military duty. Signed, the royal couple." End quote. So what's next for the Crown Prince? Well, in early August, he will begin the year-long and intensive Guard Hussar Regiment's Lieutenant's Training Course. According to the Royal Court of Denmark, along with a year-long course, there is a, quote, "subsequent period of practical service as a platoon leader." End quote. Congratulations to the Crown Prince and his fellow conscripts. Well done. How do I start this? Meanwhile? Okay, let's do that. His Excellency, Count Nikolai of Monpezat, and his longtime girlfriend, Miss Benedicte Thaustrup, graced the cover of the 200th issue of ELLE Denmark. The couple, who live in Australia, also sat down for an exclusive yet brief interview with the magazine. I'll leave a link to LDK in the description box below. In Stockholm, Their Majesties, King Carl Gustaf and Queen Sylvia of Sweden, presided over the Order of Merit ceremony in the White Sea Room at the Royal Palace. According to the Royal Court of Sweden, the king, who is a Grand Master of the Orders of the Knighthood, awarded orders to 19 exceptional Swedes. The orders were awarded on the instructions of the government. The orders included the Royal Order of the Sword, the Royal Order of the Polar Star, and the Royal Order of the Vasa. And there you have it. Thank you all so much for joining me this afternoon. I really do appreciate it. Thank you. I will be back tomorrow on Thursday, May 29th, with all the latest royal news and events. Until then, I sincerely wish each and every one of you, your family, your friends, and of course your pets, a wonderful afternoon. Take care, everyone. God bless, and I will see you all tomorrow. Okay, time for me to go surfing.